Hi everyone, I'm your host, Pietra Veloso, and today with me I have Sabrina Gil. Sabrina is a registered acupuncturist and physiotherapist exam candidate with nearly 20 years of experience helping people reduce pain, improve mobility, and live healthier lives. Originally from Brazil, she now practices in Winnipeg and is an active member of the Manitoba Professional Acupuncturist Association. She holds a Master in Rehabilitation Sciences from the University of Manitoba and has trained in acupuncture in both Brazil and China. Sabrina's work combines her passion for movement, exercise, and traditional medicine to support people of all ages. So thank you, Sabrina, for being here with us today.
You.
I'm going to ask you some questions if that's okay with you.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so let's get started.
Yes.
Let's talk about your job and how you started, because you have two very different jobs that help a lot. So for someone who doesn't know about acupuncture or physiotherapy, can you tell us what it is and how it helps?
Yeah. So acupuncture comes from traditional Chinese medicine, and it understands the body as the whole thing. So when we are suffering either for pain or from some emotional condition, that also affects the whole body. And that's how we see our patients. And it uses needling, cupping, pressure points. It has many different techniques that can help us feel better. And for physiotherapy, the word already says, comes from physical therapy, which helps our body whenever we have any movement issue, balance, pain in different areas of our body. Physiotherapy uses exercise, movement to help our body feel better, improve in terms of movement, our joint function, our balance, and in many other areas like our heart health, lungs health. There's like so many things that physiotherapy can do for us that I really enjoy having the opportunity to work with both areas.
And how did you figure out that these were the right jobs for you?
This is a good question because this happened more than 20 years ago.
Wow.
Right? And it came first with physiotherapy. Back then, I was not sure if I wanted to go through to physiotherapy school or if I wanted to go to medical school. And when I was taking a test to get into physiotherapy school. One part of the test was actually to write down why I think physiotherapy would be so important and why I wanted to be a physiotherapist. And there I did this essay and I figured out that I actually wanted to be part of the process. I wanted to see the patient and see them improving, see them helping them also to go through the steps of getting better. So not only see them, give them a medication, maybe see them later, but not the day by day or week by week improvement. That was something that really caught me when I was writing it down, because when I was little, I actually needed physiotherapy for many years.
Oh no.
So that kind of came out when I was doing that essay. And I didn't even want to go and take the test for medical school because I was just so, that's what I want to do, right?
Yeah, you knew exactly what you wanted to do.
It was like came out of my heart what I really wanted to do.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and acupuncture at that time, I had no idea what it was. Just see sometimes on TV, someone showing what was it, but not really interested in. And 5 years later, after I had already graduated from physiotherapy school, I was looking for more studies to get deepen up on something else. And my friends were going to getting more into sports, physiotherapy. Others were going more for neurology. And I actually wanted something different than the usual. And after listening to some people who had great experiences with acupuncture, I decided to learn more, and I ended up entering into acupuncture school. And it was also something that really made me happy because it helped me to understand the body in a different way. So I felt that the knowledge of these two different areas actually were very good to get along with, right? And help my patients in different ways.
So you thought that like physiotherapy helped you study for being an acupuncturist?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Because basically, when I started studying acupuncture, I could see it was hard. It was hard because my mind was into the physiotherapy world. And when somebody comes with a knee pain, although we talk about the mobility of the whole leg, it's more onto focused on the knee, right? And in acupuncture, that can mean other things. It means that I need to actually look at other systems and other ways of looking at that person and what's happening there. So they don't substitute, like physiotherapy doesn't substitute acupuncture, but they actually
work together.
Work very well together.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So in a way it helped you, and in a way you had to learn new things.
Yes.
Right.
And yeah, and in that matter, at that time, I found acupuncture was quite difficult. And when I was talking to one of my mentors, who was a physiotherapist and an acupuncturist, he said, empty your cup. So we need to, like, I had to kind of like forget, when I was studying acupuncture, I had to kind of forget about what I knew about physio, just to first try to understand what acupuncture was all about, the traditional Chinese medicine philosophy that backs up acupuncture, and kind of like forget my Western way of viewing the body and seeing how the Chinese see the body, which is a little different.
It's a little different from the Western way of
Yes,
seeing it.
yes, for sure.
I bet it sounds very different.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your work on the job, like our title of the show says.
Yeah.
What does a typical day look like for you, both as a physiotherapist exam candidate and as an acupuncturist? So
although I work in completely different clinics, where I do acupuncture, I only do acupuncture. And where I work with as a physiotherapy exam candidate, I just do physiotherapy, right? But my day is quite similar, because I get there, see my schedule, see who I'm gonna be seeing that day, review what I'm working with them, so I'm prepared to see the patients, right? And I see them one by one, and go with my patients with what they did in terms of progression, what happened since I last saw them, if they were doing what it was recommended to them, what were the good things and the bad things, if they progressed or not, and what has changed in their body. And then we go over with the treatment that is for them. As an exam candidate, I also have another physiotherapist that also helps me whenever I need any guidance with a patient's treatment. And it's very good to have that backup, because this is just a part of my recognition to become a fully licensed physiotherapist.
You have to work with someone else?
Yeah, I have to work with someone else, which is good, because I always think that we don't know everything.
No.
It's always good to have a partnership where we can work together and learn new things.
Yes, because we're always learning, right?
Yeah. And after I see each patient, I have to write it down, everything that I did, all the recommendations I did, so I have it all documented, and also I can consult in other days. For physio, many times I also send them exercises, like in a written form, for them so they don't forget. And they also have where to consult to do the exercises that I usually tell them to keep doing at home.
Yeah, so you write down everything on the chart.
Yeah.
So the next day you can check it up.
Yeah.
And see.
Yeah.
Can other people see the chart that you write in?
They're the charts. They follow a strict privacy, and there's like rules in Canada and everywhere. Every country has its rules. So only the professionals that are treating that patient can really see that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they are not public in any way, and we need to keep them private.
Yes, and it helps you track their process as well, right?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. See how if they're doing any better.
Yeah.
Right from the last
and
time.
It's always a way, because we see many people.
Yeah.
So it's like if I would see just like 2 or 3 each day, it would be easy to remember everything every time they come, but that's not true. Like we see many people, and it's not every day that I see them. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it's twice a week, but still there's so many cases to look at and different things that we treat that we always need
a way to
to keep track of that.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure. Yeah.
What are some of the most common conditions you help people with?
Basically, the most thing in a general way is pain, right? As a in the physiotherapy setting, people come and most of the time with some sort of pain, either that they don't know where it comes from, like I didn't do anything, or they fell, they were in a car accident or in a work accident. So it's like an injury that they have pain as a result of it most of the time. Many times it's movement that they can't lift their arm, or they can't bend to pick up anything from the floor, right? Sometimes it's like athletes that were playing their favorite sport and they end up getting injured. So in terms of physiotherapy, I get most of those types of cases. Sometimes people come because of migraines or jaw pain and dizziness, right? So physiotherapy can help people with that.
I didn't know physiotherapy helped with dizziness.
Yes,
really
yes. Cool. I'm not an expert on that, but sometimes people come, we evaluate, and we say, hey, this needs more of a clinician specialized on that. Mm-hmm. And then we refer to someone, or, for the patient to really look like you need someone that really study that in a deepened way, mm-hmm. and that can help you, right?
That makes sense.
Every time we get someone that's the case, for example, it needs a special setting that we don't have it. We always have to refer out so they can have proper care, right?
Yes.
For acupuncture, I have lots of people that come for me because of pain, back pain, migraines. They also come for dizziness. But there are other things that physiotherapy is not part of the physiotherapy practice. So people come for digestion issues, anxiety, insomnia, depression. Lots of women come for fertility. Others who are already pregnant, they come to acupuncture because it's a good way of dealing with discomforts that are very common during pregnancy. Sometimes nausea, sometimes back pain or headaches.
And this doesn't hurt the baby at all?
No, it actually helps, because it helps the moms to deal with those uncomfortable situations during pregnancy without having to use medication. And many times they can't use medication because it represents a risk for the baby. Mm-hmm. And some moms that don't know that, they end up like, what do I do? Like, I'm suffering. Mm-hmm. So it's a way to help them. So it's very nice to be able to do these two professions separately.
Yeah.
and deal with all sorts of
different cases,
different
right?
cases for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's move on to some advice for young people. What subjects or skills should a young person focus on if they're interested in these careers?
One is, I think, on both ways, for both careers. We need to be curious because we need to investigate. We need to ask questions and be ready for the answers. Sometimes the answer will help you a lot, sometimes it doesn't. So you need to know that. You need to like to ask questions in some sort, be curious about. To me, each patient I see as a puzzle because I need to figure out, in terms of physio, if you have knee pain, I have to figure out where it comes from. Is it just because of the knee? It's because they are not walking properly. It's because of a spinal condition, because sometimes they don't know. They don't know they have that.
Yeah. And it could all
right?
be connected, right?
And they are always connected in some way, in some level. So we kind of like have to investigate what's going on or what muscles are not working properly that is making that person end up with pain.
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
And acupuncture the same. In terms of other skills, I think be patient, compassionate. Each person is different. They're going through all sorts of problems. It's not what they bring. They're not only that problem. They're not a knee. They're not a shoulder.
They're a whole person.
They are
right?
a whole person, right? And when they come to you asking for help for a specific issue, there's lots of things behind that we need to consider, right? Like when I tell my physiotherapy clients that they need to do this exercise these many times a day, and for how is that going to fit on their
schedule
day?
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't know. Like we have to ask questions that are not only about their problem, like their main problem, right? So I think compassionate, patient, curious, and also be positive, because people come to you always with a problem. They don't come to you with a solution. They wouldn't need me.
They wouldn't need you, right? If they had a solution.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes we don't really have the 100% solution for them, but we have something that can help them feel better. And then maybe later on, they will find a solution. Sometimes, one time a teacher told me when I was in physio school, sometimes recovery is not what we think it is. Like recovery can be, oh, I need to go back to the way I was before. Of course, everybody wants to be like that, right? But sometimes, for now, it's not possible. Mm-hmm. But if they can have a life more independent, if they can have less pain, right? That is also part of the recovery. And we have to value that. And in some ways, be like a coach, like looking for, like telling them like the positive things that they're having at that moment. Yeah. And looking ahead, you're going to get, better from what you're now. Things will get better, in a way to give them hope, because
that's what they need, right?
They need hope to get better, right? And if they don't, they're just gonna give up, and that's not helpful at all.
No,
right?
That doesn't help them get better.
Yeah. So I think these are key ones, but we only get them, like I didn't think about that when I was
starting out. Right?
Starting out, I just thought it would be a cool thing to do, and I would be feeling good doing that. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, it's I think that. Yeah.
What about subjects in school? Because I know there's like science that they offer. Uh-huh. Is there any specific specific sciences, biology or chemistry or physics that you would need for both, or maybe one of them?
I would say, I'm not sure, because each university is different, and the university here is quite different from Brazil. Mm-hmm. But from my studies, And from what we see in our practice, we definitely need to like at least to study biology. You said it all. Chemistry and physics. They are all related, and they are all needed to understand how movement works. The chemistry helps us understand a bit on how the medications, like sometimes I'm treating someone and they are taking a medication that the side effect is dizziness. And I want them to do something, but the medication causes them dizziness.
How can you help that, right?
I need to understand that some medications will cause things and that will work in some way in your brain or in your body. So I need to know chemistry, at least have a sense of it. And I would say that can give you a little good start. Physics, same thing, learning how movement works, right? So, and not only movement, physiotherapy uses electricity, uses sound waves, uses light, and they are all part of physics. And yeah.
You have to like them, right?
I think so, at least a bit.
What about mathematics? Do you have to be good at math?
You have to be good at logical thinking, and math helps you develop that.
Yes.
Right? To me, like now looking back, and that's what I tell my kids, like, hey, you need to do math that helps to develop logic. And it doesn't matter if you're going to use this way of calculating or not, but it's helping your mind develop that. And math, well, we're going to use math in physics, chemistry, for sure, right? And there are other kinesiology, which is part of the study of movement, is also based on physics. So we definitely need to work on that.
Math, science, all those important skills.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all the subjects that I personally am not the best at. So definitely got to get better at those if I wanted to be a physiotherapist.
Yes, for sure.
I'll tell my friends who are wanting to go into medicine. I have a lot of them, and they are always thinking, well, what subjects do I need? And like, what should I take in school? Because they want to get the exact subject that will teach them what they need, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's always good to know which subjects in school you need to take.
Yeah, and each university program is different. So it's always good to look at what you want to do, ask questions. Just like be curious, ask questions.
Like we're doing right now.
For sure.
Exactly. So a lot of people do want to work in your field. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of interest out there for physiotherapists and acupuncturists. But they're not sure how to start. Where can they start? What are something that they can do today or tomorrow? Like you said, ask questions. What can they do to start and get into your field?
I think they might go. Sometimes they have someone in their family, for example, or that they know, or that is a physiotherapist or an acupuncturist or both. That they should go and talk to them. If possible, visit a physiotherapy clinic or an acupuncture clinic. Not necessarily as a patient, but also just like be around. You're not going to be seeing like a client in being seen, but you can see how things work, and you can ask questions again. And if you have the opportunity to be a client, ask questions too as a client.
Figure out how it all works.
Figure out how it works, yes. Because there are different settings that a physiotherapist can work. They can work in hospitals. They can work with a team. They can work in a private clinic. They work in universities as teachers. Most of them are researchers, like they're researching something, right? So it's like if you like to research, you can be a physiotherapist that is more into the academic world, not necessarily dealing with patients all the time. So there's all these different settings that you can work. And here for acupuncture, we only see treatments in clinics, right? But in other countries, they have other settings. Like I've been to China, they do acupuncture in the hospital, right? So it's depending on which country we work, things can be a little different. So the same way, I would say, ask questions, talk to people who already worked in the field. I wish I would have done that before.
Yeah, you wish you would have asked questions.
I didn't. I talked to patients. I was a patient for physio, and I talked to patients for acupuncture. But I didn't talk to the professionals, which is okay. But I wish I could have talked to professionals and asked the questions that today, if I would go back, I would definitely ask them.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so physiotherapy and acupuncture both require a lot of study. Like we talked about, there's physics, there's chem, there's bio, there's math. What kept you motivated throughout all of this process?
Curiosity. In my point of view, was curiosity. I was liking what I was seeing. Of course, there were low times, right? There are good times and low times. But during, for example, physio school, we have more the second half part of it. It was with patients. We were always under supervision in different settings. It was really, really nice to see that. For acupuncture, it was kind of the same thing. Like first we do a lot of courses, but later on we have the experience to see patients getting better, being treated, feeling well, and that kind of like warms our heart,
Makes it all worth it.
Yeah, because you see immediately something, right? Like in physio, I couldn't, like maybe 2-3 weeks or even sometimes months later, months before actually, I couldn't pick up something on the floor, and now I can, right? I couldn't go for shopping, now I can. Now I feel confident doing that. And this is like, there's no money that really can pay the feeling that we feel, because it's not, I was just part of the process. The person is that the one that really got into that, because I can, like anyone can be the best physio, the best acupuncturist, do the best things, but their body needs to do the most important part of the job, which is respond to what we're giving it, right?
It's not just what you give, it's what the parent, what the patient gives.
The body needs to respond, and the patient needs to be involved all the time, mentally and physically, on that, to provoke the changes that their body needs, right? Yeah. We're just guiding the process.
Yes, 100%. So many young people worry about whether they're good enough for healthcare careers, because it's a hard career, right?
Yeah.
What are qualities that you think matter most? You talked about curiosity.
Yeah. I think what matter most is if you like and if you have a goal in your life, don't give up. Don't give up. It's always part of the process. Nothing is easy. Nothing that not even being alive is easy, right? So don't give up. Go through the process. See things as a step, always a step. Sometimes we fall back, which is fine. We just need to get up again and
learn from your mistakes, right?
Be persistent, resilient. And we only learn these skills if we really have a goal and we want to get there, right? And always have goals in front of you. If you reach something from here, what I want to do now, that is not only for profession, the professional part of our lives, but for our life itself, right? So always having a goal, being persistent, and taking step by step, and don't ever give up.
Yeah. Don't ever give up.
Yeah.
Because there's always gold at the end of the rainbow.
Oh, yes.
I follow the rainbow. There was no gold. Not in real life. But you know, you got to think about that the end goal is the gold, right?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, and the gold is, some people think as money, but not necessarily.
No.
Right?
It's the feeling that you get that you said, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And
So
you feel happy about it.
Of course, you got to be happy. You got to love what you do, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I like asking people questions.
Yeah.
And I love seeing the interview come out. And it's the same thing for you. You give them the exercises, you help them, and then you see them at the end getting all better.
Yeah,
I agree.
sure.
Any job does that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that you're passionate about keeping people active at any age. How do you encourage young people to take care of their bodies now so they can not have problems later?
That's a tricky question because we can't really, we can avoid, but we don't know the future, right? But one thing is very important. Having your body like work doesn't have to be anything crazy. Find something you like. Find an exercise that you enjoy. And some people will say, I don't enjoy anything. Well, what do you enjoy to do? Be with your friends. Ask them to go for a walk. It's a way of starting, right? Any activity that can help you work with your whole body, it will be great. One thing that I always say is that when we get two persons, one never exercised in their life, and someone who is the same age has basically the same problem, and they got hurt, right? So they now need to do exercise to get better. They usually are faster in recovery. One thing is because they know exercise makes them feel good. They know it brings results. So it's already a mindset that is different from someone who never really exercised in their lives. Other things that our bodies use, when our body is used to exercise, it responds faster. There are different theories about that. One of them is the muscle memory. People who exercise those muscles, they remember what is the process and they figure out ways to, improve faster.
That's really cool.
Which is very interesting because that can help us in the future with many things. If someone goes to surgery because they have some problem on their shoulder, but they have muscles that are healthy and muscles that are functional because that person exercises, most likely, you can't say 100% for sure, most likely they're going to have a better recovery.
That's great.
Right? Compared to someone who never exercised. So, and that also being active since early age helps our heart to be healthier. So when we exercise early in life, one of the things that help us too is that later in life, it's going to be easier to keep a healthy lifestyle. It can reduce chances of many types of diseases. And we see that coming out in literature all the time with research about mental disorders, that exercising, being healthy, having social interactions, they always are good for us, right? So I would say be active the best way you can.
That's great. Is there any exercises that like young people like me can start doing today? Like you said, going for a walk.
Going for a walk, biking. If you like to swim, you can go for a swim.
Oh, I love swimming.
Right? So about swimming, there was a time in my life that I took a time to swim. I really love to swim. It's been a while. Nowadays, I bike more than swim. But it was my mental hygiene type of thing. So I would leave work, go straight to the pool, and 1 hour swim, just me in the water. Nobody talking to me. I could go over my day. I could, plan things. Just the water, to me, it was so refreshing in terms of having a time just for myself.
I agree.
So that's why I say pick what you like. To me, that what does that today is biking, while the weather is not so cold.
Yeah. While the snow isn't out yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely pick up what you like first. Yeah.
I used to do competitive swimming. I just recently stopped, but I'm going to get back into swimming again. And for me, swimming was like you said, I got to clear my head. The second I got under that water and I was doing laps, it helped a lot with just with de-stressing from that day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, after you had a long day, you kind of just want to lay in bed and sleep. But doing something to keep your body active, I definitely agree that it definitely helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on, what would you say to someone who's afraid of needles? Because acupuncture does sometimes require needles, like you said. How can the needles benefit? What would you say to someone who's afraid of them?
Try it. That's what I would say. Because I have many clients that come and they say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with needles, but I have tried everything. And these many people told me that I should try acupuncture and all that. I can't say it doesn't hurt, but it's such a very quick pinch. And it's not something that will continue hurting when the needles are there. But definitely, it's hard to describe. But I would say that people who have tried, most of them, I can tell of the 10 out of 10 people who try and they tell me I can't, I'm so afraid. There are different techniques that we can also do to calm them down, and also I respect what they tell me, stop, right? I give them the power, right, to stop the treatment at anytime, right? But I would say just once, one client, can you please stop? All of them were facing that fear because they actually needed relief. They needed relief from whatever they were seeking treatment for, right? So the best thing to do is try it. And if you don't like it, there's so many other things that can be done. There's acupressure, there's laser acupuncture, there's other techniques, there's cupping, right? So if they are not comfortable in starting with the needles, we can start with something else, right? And then as they feel comfortable, confident, they are free to tell me, hey, I'm ready to try the needling, right? So, yeah.
And what helps for one person might not help for another.
No,
right?
for sure.
So
For sure.
everyone's different.
Yeah.
I agree. How does acupuncture, now that we're on the topic of it, how does it support mental health? Like you said before, it supports anxiety and depression. How does it do that?
Well, acupuncture with traditional Chinese medicine, it looks our body as a one thing, right? So if we think about when people have anxiety, some of them, they also tell us other things. They tell us their stomach hurts. They tell us that their heart races. They tell us that it's hard to fall asleep. They overthink and they are always in a rush. Or there's all sorts of things that when we start asking questions, it comes like a bunch of physical things that are happening with that person that they not necessarily put together with what they are feeling in this case, anxiety, right? So acupuncture doesn't really substitute counseling, doesn't a psychologist work. It actually just helps them, right? So acupuncture will deal with their body as one and help to reduce those symptoms and calm their system. So acupuncture now is known that it works in our nervous system, stimulating the parasympathetic system, which means some people call the rest and restore system, which is like when we are asleep. We do have that rest and restore system more active, and the stress system or the sympathetic nervous system, that's where when we learn in biology, right?
That's why biology is important.
That's why biology is important. So when we have the stress system too stimulated, it's really hard to fall asleep. It's really hard to calm down, right? And when we have the rest and restore system more active, it's when we go to sleep, when our body has time to prepare ourselves to the next day. And acupuncture actually does that, activates more the rest and restore system while the needles are there. And after we take the needles out, we still have that going on for a while, right?
That's super
cool. Yeah, so that helps us to be more in balance. And balance, we always have to understand that is not a still thing. It's like
like a roller coaster.
A game, right? On both need to be working as they need. Like now, we have our sympathetic system high because we are attentive, we're working, we're talking, right?
So it's like a balance, right?
It's like a balance, but it needs to be helped with the other one so we don't get too distracted or with other symptoms, right?
Yeah.
So acupuncture helps to restore that balance and calms us down. So, but the cause for anxiety needs to be addressed, right? So it's where psychology comes in, right? And then they need another professional to work with it.
That's another person. But you help with those sorts of things, with the balance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wish you knew at the beginning of your career that you now know?
I wish I would ask more questions at that time.
Yes.
Seems like I'm going back to the same thing. But,
yes.
No, I think it's like there are things that, like if you talk to another physiotherapist or another acupuncturist, they will have different experiences. They will have other things to tell you. And sometimes we just have to discover by ourselves. But if we have some more information, it's much better. Today with internet and so many ways of finding information, things are so much easier.
Much easier to connect with people, right?
For sure, for sure. So yeah, I think that's one of the things, get informed, experience things are key things to do for sure.
Okay. Yes. So let's talk about my favorite part of the show, which is misconceptions. So things that people get wrong about your job.
Yeah.
What is the biggest misconception about people who work in acupuncture, things about acupuncture and physiotherapy that people might not know?
Well, with acupuncture is that it hurts.
I always think about that too.
People think like, how can like these small needles can help me? They don't have any medication in it, right? Yeah. So I would say, yeah, trying it would make you really understand what's going on, and that it doesn't really hurt. But also in terms of acupuncture is that one treatment will do it all. Our body is not a magic click that will save you for all the things, right? So acupuncture is not that. That's not how our body responds to. It can give you really good relief, really good improvements, but it's not a magic trick, right? It respects biology, chemistry, and the physics of our body, right? And with physiotherapy, I would say it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's not one treatment that will make things get better. I wish I could have like one, like
a magic wand.
Like a magic wand. Click, and things will get better. And not also that, but depending only when they meet the physiotherapist to think that will do the trick for them to get better. They need consistency in the work. Most of the time, it always needs exercise, stretching, strengthening, balance exercises, or whatever that the physiotherapist told you to do. It's not in 1 week. It's not in one month. sometimes can take a year to get better.
It's a process, right?
It's a process, and it's mostly because your body needs that time to heal. And we need to give the right the right stimulation, and only the patient can do. They are the main character in the whole process. We're just there to help them, to guide them to the path of healing.
They need to want to do the exercises,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah,
For
it's all
sure.
about them.
And it's funny because sometimes a client comes and they say, oh yeah, I was doing pretty well, but then I just stopped doing the exercises and everything came back. So, well, because you were getting better, you were not there yet.
Yeah.
Right? So they already know the cause why the pain came back, right?
Because they stopped doing what you were
do the job,
yeah.
right? So yeah, it's very important to understand that the patient is the main character and responsibility of getting better. It's all on them. We're just there to really help them to do it in the faster, in the best way we can possibly help them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking ahead, looking into the future, are there new techniques or innovations in your field that excite you?
One of the things for acupuncture is that technology made needles much thinner and much painless.
Ooh, that's good.
So like 20 years ago, they were in one way. Not that it was painful, but now the needles are so much better that we definitely can say, oh, most likely you're not going to feel much, right? But it doesn't change. It's been thousands of years that acupuncture is there. The theory is the same. The treatments are basically the same. We have new things like laser. We have electricity, other gadgets that we use, but it's basically the same thing, right?
Yes.
And in terms of physiotherapy, there's so much research also in that field. Like acupuncture has lots of research now, and physiotherapy has so much research going on in all fields, like for little kids, for young adults, for in all different areas and ages for different conditions. So it's always nice to see the research, and we are understanding better the body. Things that maybe 20 years ago they wouldn't even discuss that in university or when we are getting educated. But now that's how they understand this or that now? Okay, so it's good that we can always be updating our knowledge and having better machines to help us, different techniques, because what works for you might not be 100% for someone else, right? So we have different ways of doing things, and that can help our clients much better, right? So I think now there are games that especially older people do to help them with their mental performance, right? So they don't get into those, or at least breaks the development of some of the degenerative diseases that affect most of the older population, like many people in the older population. So the future, I think, is something that excites me in a way that we're not stopped in time, and things will just get better and better for people to get back to their lives and, be active again.
And technology will always improve, and new techniques will always come into the mix.
And there are many research going on into ways of people who have who are in a wheelchair, for example, that had spinal injury. There's all these different techniques and gadgets or machines that help them to recover. Not necessarily they're walking again, but they are trying to make those people get on their feet, right? So who knows? Maybe in the future, that you find a way to recover these people.
Yes.
right? So in a way that they can walk again. Right? So that's very exciting.
Yes.
It's not my field of work in that matter,
Yeah, but
I find very exciting.
yes.
Yeah.
And how do you see opportunities growing for young people?
Well, one of the things is that our population is getting older, right? Although physiotherapy, for example, we work with people of all ages. As the older we get, it's like most of my patients are older, right? So the older we get, we start having pains, aches. We're more vulnerable, right? And that can ask for more physiotherapy, right? So there are different ways to work on and different sports. So it's like a field that will always be there, in my point of view. Sometimes I just make a very I think of when I see videos on Instagram, for example, with people doing all these crazy things. They do so many weird things. They get hurt. And I think, oh my goodness, we have people have accidents just doing regular stuff, right? Imagine people who are doing stupid things.
And it's always for views, right?
Yeah, so it's like the people do get hurt just with simple things, but there's also people who get hurt because they're trying things that I personally wouldn't try. No, they will get hurt, right? You can see they're going to get hurt. But answering your question, our body is very vulnerable. And we more vulnerable than we think. And we always have people there to help them, either with movement, with pain, with headaches. You know, there's people in a hospital that need our help. People in the older people that need to stay active. And learn to live their full life, like as the best they can.
Yes.
Right. So there's always going to be room for physiotherapy. Always going to be room for acupuncture to help people.
That's good to know. Yeah. Yeah. And the last question I have for you today is, if you could leave one message for the future of healthcare, what would it be?
If we can work preventively, would be great, always. If we can see the person as one, not only parts of it, because that seems to be the way that we, in the Western world, we see people, our education is more into parts, which is okay, but we don't really address the
whole person.
The whole person, right? And everything that person is going on, living, affects their recovery. Definitely. So I think in terms of healthcare, we need to see the person as one, not just a piece. We do, right? That will help them to feel that they are being looked at and treated with dignity. Yeah. Right. So
you have to be compassionate.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation today and for being here on the job with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here.
Of course.
And it was very nice.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today and learning more about Sabrina's amazing work in physiotherapy and acupuncture. Her journey shows how passion and lifelong learning can really transform lives. That's all for this episode of On the Job. Join us next time for another career story you won't want to miss.